Rick360 here from player2reviews.com. Tonight we have a bit of a spooky game. Halloween is a perfect time for horror games, and you usually see a lot of them release around this time of the month. So the timing makes sense for NIS America to release this game now. It's a Japanese horror game. It's available on PS Vita and Steam right now. And basically, Yomawari is a survival horror game, and there's no combat in it whatsoever. The only way you're going to survive is by paying attention to your surroundings and more or less running, which you can't even do that very well, to be honest. You got like a slow little character here, and your stamina bar, as you can see, shortly runs out, and especially when you're near an enemy and getting scared, it's practically non-existent. You can sprint for like 1 second before it runs out completely. We're just gonna run through this short little tutorial / intro here before you get into the main game. Boom! Headshot. Oh wait, sorry, this ain't Call of Duty. Anyway, so yeah, you just messed up there. I mean, definitely, probably not gonna get another dog anytime soon. But anyway, you'll see that's the least of your worries or problems. I really recommend when you play this game that you play it in the complete, as dark as you can get it, with a pair of headphones on, preferably alone, because that's always the best way to experience these types of horror games. That's your sister. Now you're just going to pretend like you don't know what happened to the dog, because you're a horrible little person. Honestly, horror games are some of my favorite games. I love the genre, but I always prefer to have my survival horror games with combat in them, because games like this, or let's say Amnesia, stuff like that, you can only run. That's it. You can only run, so you don't really what your options are. You can basically just run like a little girl and hide. But the problem with that is, it's just kind of, it's boring. It's a little boring for me. Like, I know I have to run, so I run and do whatever. It's tense. It's a bit tense, but not so much. I mean, what I really like is having combat in there. But the gameplay has to be, mind you, the gameplay has to be balanced pretty closely. Like, for example, like the original Resident Evil games, when you're fighting, you can fight, but you can also run as well. You have more options. Yeah, it's that honestly scared the shit out of me the first time I seen it, because I wasn't expecting him to pop up in the screen like that, and I'm sitting here like a fool in the dark with my headphones on, and it was cranked up pretty loud. And I died. See, you walk when you don't pay attention, you walk right into him, and it's instant death. That's why you got to make sure your little butt can run around them. See, this is what I'm talking about when your stamina runs out so fast. Anyway, as I was saying, so you can fight, but if you run, you can conserve your ammo that you might need later on for a boss fight, because when the ammo is scarce and it takes like a lot of shots to kill something, you generally, it can make you freeze up, because you don't know whether maybe you should fight this guy or maybe you should run by him. Maybe you don't even know where you're going. Maybe you're going to run into a trap and get caught, So that's why I prefer combat in my survival horror games. But you know, not too much like say Resident Evil 5. That's more like a bullet fest. So I found my sister now. And like all loving sisters, she shoves you into a bush and leaves you by yourself. What she's doing out here anyway. This introduces basically the only other mechanic you have in the game, like survival mechanic I should say. Hide in a bush till everything goes away. Though really, how evil spirit demons won't be able to find you in the bush, I don't know. I guess you're not that bright. I love that part. Now, for me personally, I'm not very good at, like, I don't play computers often. And so, like, basically, what I'm trying to say is that I'm terrible at remembering where the buttons are on the keyboard. So in, like, some tense moments, I'm trying to, you know, run. I'm trying to run and shine my light in the right direction, and I just miss the keys sometimes and I get killed. It's embarrassing. So it takes a bit of practice for me, because like unless it's a point and click RPG or maybe a first person shooter, it's fine. But like for games like this, there's like a lot of, like I said, a lot of different combinations of buttons. It just feels weird on the keyboard, to be honest. Like it feels like the layout could be a little better. Though I believe you can change the key bindings in the menu. I haven't tried that out yet, but I'm going to soon, and I highly recommend you check it out too. You can use the mouse, by the way, to move. I like using the mouse to move, but I find it's not as accurate. Like when you barely have enough space to get by the enemy, you know, it's a little hard. It's a little touch and go. You know, I found myself dying quite a few times like that, using the mouse, trying to make like precise movements. So you're better off sticking with the directional keys. I don't know. Like I said, maybe because I'm just terrible with keyboards. Yeah, so that statue, that Jesus statue I just passed by before, when you shine your flashlight on the ground, you can see like sometimes shining, sparkling objects, and they're rocks or they're coins. You really want to keep an eye out and search for the coins, because the coins you can use at the Jesus statues to save temporarily save. It's a quick save. Once you're back at your house, you can save anytime you want in your diary. But this is better for when you're out in the middle of a chapter and bugs, and you need to save. And it also acts as a fast travel point to any other statue you've saved at. Yeah, sometimes things jump out, just pop out of keyholes, manholes. I mean, the worst one I found so far is a hand that grabs you, and you can't move. So if you're running from an enemy, you're pretty much screwed. Yeah, that's the one. That slimy Ninja Turtle. So this is basically it for the first chapter. I'm just going to run over here because I think there was an item. The first time I played it, I believe I saw... Yeah, here it is. The game is also divided up on a chapter basis. Here, a little diary. Tells you what you have to do. And that's where you can save now. I think from this point on you can return to your house anytime to save it. It becomes a bit more open, I believe. Yeah, well, that's it for the video for tonight. Thanks for stopping by and watching, and check out for more videos in the future. Ciao.